Simpsons Hit and Run, a classic OG game from the 6th generation consoles with a cult-like following. Arguably one of the best Simpsons game to date, it's the kid-friendly version of GTA our parents would buy us. I remember my dad buying me this game back when I was a kid for my PS2. I was never able to beat the game because whenever I would shut down my console, I would be reset back to level 1. I was young at the time, like 6 or 7 years old, so I didn't understand the concept of a memory card, let alone saving your progress. For the longest time, I didn't even know what a memory card was. I remember I was at my cousin's house one day playing on his PS2, and we would frequently lend each other games. I had noticed a memory card on his console and asked him about it, and when he explained it to me, it was as if a light switched off in my brain. An external card that when plugged into your console saves your game progress. It was like black magic to younger me at the time. Kinda stupid that Sony didn't include this with the purchase of the PS2 and sold it as an accessory. Before this, I could never beat my games like Sonic Heroes and Battle for Bikini Bottom. After that, I asked my parents and they purchased a memory card for me. I was able to finally beat some of the games I owned. I remember putting in like 500 hours into Sonic Heroes, Battle for Bikini Bottom, and Sonic Riders. The Simpsons Hit and Run was one of those games I had before my memory card. At the time I had purchased it, I had lost the game disc when moving, so I was never able to fully beat the game. Fast forward to this summer, and I get nostalgic for the game. I insert a copy of my legally obtained game into my Gamecube and load up Hit and Run. At first I had planned to play it for 10 to 15 minutes for nostalgia's sake, but then I got into thinking, let me beat the game and have some fun and scratch it off my bucket list. I asked my little brother to play the game with me, and the idea was we would swap the controller back and forth upon each failed attempt at a mission, or if we completed one. It was going to be a quick and fun experience, and I could show my younger brother a classic game from that era of consoles. How hard could it be, right? Small side note, I'm convinced certain things are universally canon when growing up as a gamer with younger siblings. Number 1 is pretending to plug in the second controller for your younger siblings. Number 2, trying to fix your scratch discs with toothpaste. And number 3, taking turns when dying in games with your siblings, knowing full well you would die far less since you were older. These are canon amongst all of us growing up, and I refuse to believe otherwise. How hard could it be to beat Simpsons Hit and Run, right? Little did I know the nightmare that would unfold soon. So after having beaten the game, I have some thoughts. What I originally thought was a casual experience and a lighthearted game turned into one of the most challenging games I have ever played as of late. I am convinced this game has taken a part of my soul with it that I'll never get back. In level 1, there isn't really much issues. It's the tutorial level, and you are being gently eased into the game mechanics and what you can expect to be doing in the game. We'll soon come to realize that the game is mostly taking place in vehicles, as since the game is rated at a younger audience for teenagers, there isn't really any guns or missions of that sort, just mainly driving. The missions in the first level were simple and were usually one-parters. Examples being drive to the Quickie Mart and grab some ice cream, drop off Lisa's project, and race with the townsfolk. Nothing too difficult, and we were enjoying ourselves during this section. In the first session, we beat level 1 within an hour. Level 2 is Bart's section, and not much issues here as well. However, this is where the game teased us with our first taste of what's to come. Most missions up to this point we could beat in one try. Fox Nerdwilly, however, was the first difficulty spike in the game. The other vehicle was quite a bit faster. I remember it being very annoying and taking us 5 to 6 tries to beat it. Looking back now in hindsight, this level is not so bad compared to what's to come, but that is only after going through the other missions and experiencing them. There are 3 notorious missions in this game that tested my mental patience and made me almost quit the game. Whenever I look up a Simpsons Hit and Run tier list video or Reddit post, these 3 always top the list, and I'm sure anyone who's beaten the game would agree. I'm glad I didn't quit, however, and continued forward, as beating this game is like receiving a Medal of Honor in gaming. Lisa's level, which is level 3, has some annoying missions, but nothing too crazy. This is where the game starts to add 2 to 3 parters to each mission, and the time to beat each mission becomes a lot tighter. The same thing can be said for Marge's levels, some annoying missions but nothing too noteworthy. From this point onwards, levels 5 to 7 each contains a level from what I like to call the big 3. These 3 missions being the hardest in the entire game. Level 5 contains our 3rd hardest mission in the entire game, Never Trust a Snake. Snake asks Apu to collect trash around the city for his community service. This level has driving and platforming elements all inside of a strict time limit. The 4 minutes you get does not refresh when finishing a part of this mission. You need to do all this while also driving back to the DMV in time. You have to take every shortcut and come up with a decent route when collecting the trash on foot, as to waste as little time as possible. Easily the 3rd worst mission in the game, in my opinion. At least the soundtrack is a banger for this mission. The 2nd hardest mission in this game is Alien Autopsy Part 3. Some of you might argue that the number 1 spot should be swapped with this one, but I will give my reasonings as to why I placed this in 2nd place instead of 1st. Calling this mission hard is an understatement. You've got to race the black sedan to the power plant in Grandpa's car, which has trash handling and speed. Once you finally get there, you need to pick up the nuclear waste. This can blow up if you collide with other vehicles. If that happens, you then have to decide whether to drive back within the 1-minute time limit to pick up more waste from the power plant or restart the level. This will depend on where you are and to be honest, sometimes it's easier to restart as there is not enough time. While racing back to the UFO with the waste, you need to be mindful of traffic. You then need to evade a second black sedan. Once you evade it, you need to get to the UFO in the time limit. This level is nightmare fuel, but it's not the hardest mission in the game in my opinion, and if you played the game, we all kinda knew the final mission wouldn't be a cakewalk. The hardest mission in the game in my opinion is going to be Set to Kill. Let me explain why. This is the only mission in the game where I had to use an exploit to beat it. You need to destroy all the laser stands in Springfield. There's a mechanic in the game called Hit and Run. If you run over or attack citizens in the game, you build up your hit and run meter. Once maxed out, the cops will come and chase you. This gimmick was funny in the beginning, and you wouldn't really trigger it often unless you went out of your way to attack others. In this mission, however, you drive through a pier where there's a lot of people walking, so a hit and run is unavoidable. The strategy here is to deadass juke the cops. Since you will for sure get a hit and run, you need to swerve and juke the cops while also collecting the item. The cops, however, are no joke and will T-bone you and rear end you, and this will kill your time in these missions where time is already very limited. Even after doing all that, the time limit to get back to Krusty is so short, and it has you go back through the same pier to trigger another hit and run and have the cops screw you over. What I did and others did is exploit a mechanic in the game that is not well known. When your car is stuck, you can press the D-pad left arrow to reset your car. This will teleport you to the nearest road. The developers, I guess, added this to the game in case your vehicle got stuck in an awkward spot and you could just press this button to reset you. You can use this in this mission when inside the boat to teleport to the top road, saving you a lot of time. I'm not sure how you can beat the mission without this exploit, to be honest. The funny thing too is that the wiki for the levels states under the trivia section that all three of these missions are claimed to be the hardest missions by players. If that isn't evident enough that these missions are hard, then I don't know what is. To conclude this video, Simpsons Hit and Run is a beast of a game. What I thought initially was just a kid's game turned into a stress-induced nightmare experience. I had planned to spend every evening playing this game casually with my brother, sharing a good laugh, but instead spent each night raging. My ego wouldn't let me quit either, as I never skipped a mission and had to overcome this game. The missions Set to Kill and Alien Autopsy 3 were so bad that my brother didn't even do these missions, and he saw how much I raged at how difficult it was. It was also the first time I raged in a single player game so much to the point where I threw my controller across the room. Yikes. This game separates boys from men and girls from women, I guess, but I don't think they watch my channel. Yeah, definitely I feel like I leveled up as a gamer after beating this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What's your experience with Simpsons Hit and Run, and did you ever beat the game? What missions did you dislike the most? I have more videos in the works, so stay tuned for that. I plan to post more regularly now that I feel a lot better. The small hiatus was due to flu season, as I constantly kept getting sick. I'm currently sick as we speak and I'm recovering. Check out my shorts channel too if you haven't. I post somewhat daily there. I'll see you guys next time, and peace.